I've got a tweet from West Sussex Spurs who says, as a Spurs season ticket holder, we expect 100% effort, then go from there. Yep. The team has no spine. We have enough talent, but do we have a goalkeeper you can trust? We need 3 more Romero characters. And he goes on to say the January transfer window is massive for Spurs. 1, because there is now no Daniel Levy apparently holding us back. And 2, we need to spend money on 1 quality player, a player that will change the team. Don't add a £40 million mediocre player. Well, of course, Thomas Frank, Spurs' 6th manager in as many years, he was asked after the Forest thumping whether he will get the time required to turn the club around.
I can't see why not. I think it's pretty evident that if no one gets the time, no one can turn this around. This is not a quick fix.
Joining us live right now is the 1999 League Cup winner with Spurs, Ramon Vega. Morning, Ramon.
Morning, Ramon.
Good morning, both of you.
So, Ramon, what do you make of the latest performance, 3-0 at Forest?
Well, first of all, let me just wish you Merry Christmas, both of you and all the British media, first of all, because you don't know if you're going to come back again before Christmas, or you never know the way it goes at Spurs. We might be back on the radio. I think, let me just first start where the football kind of pyramid start point of view. Already started with the FIFA point of view, with the ticket pricing, which is absolutely a disaster, outrageous. To actually taking the fan to that level. It's not a people's game anymore. It's been an elite game. People who just want to have champagne in a stadium. And the ones who really make the atmosphere for years and years and years, saving their money, they're not even good. It starts to be there already. Hence, the Premier League goes to the second level the same. At Spurs, no different, to be honest with you, because they're paying a hell of a lot of money. And that's where the connection between the fans and the club, and also the football side point of view, is not there anymore. And that's why where this atmosphere, this booing going around at Spurs, at the stadium, leave it alone, as it was a bad kind of game against Forest. I think Forest deserved to win. They played absolutely wonderful. Van saying Spurs was not at all on the pitch. I was sitting next to one yesterday asking me, are these guys the lower league from England? And I say, no, that's Spurs. And he was so surprised because they were the European Cup League winners. So can you imagine what kind of image Spurs has at this point? That's not from the fan point of view, from the football point of view, from the expertise point of view, from the managed point of view, and for the players who has to join this club. That's where it started. That's where Spurs made the huge mistake for years and years. And they're paying that massively now. But the ones most paying for them now is the Spurs supporters, week in, week out, absolutely having a disaster games to watch. And Frank is saying, I told you already, predictably about Frank. I'm not sure about this guy. Best thing to do for him, should be resigning, because that's not what he should do. Time. What kind of time you have in the Premier League? We are talking Tottenham Hotspurs here. It's a big club in terms of England. You need instant success. You don't have time, 3 years, 4 years. So it's a question also, what kind of time he's been giving his 20 years Spurs? What did they done in the 20 years within the recruitment side point of view? All these managers that were there as well, they also had nothing kind of really put on the table. The only one where everybody was scrutinizing was Ange. He brought a trophy, and he's not even giving a chance on the second year to actually prove, okay, now he has a full squad, like this year. Thomas has a full squad. Not as much injury like last year, Angie. We are pretty much better off now, better off last year than now, in terms of points. So that's where the problem is. Fundamentally, recruitment point of view within the club is for years neglected, and any match that comes into it, frankly saying, will have a difficult to even to build something. Now, question is, who's going to potentially be good for this? I have a suggestion. Robbie Keane, we're pretty much now the Irish boy in Ferencváros. He's done very well. Just beat Rangers as well. By the way, of an ex-Celtic. So he will be a good one. He's a DNA kind of ex-player, but he knows the psychological side point of the dressing room. What is missing with me here at Thomas? I don't see he inspires these players at the dressing room. I don't see inspiration. I don't see this connection. I don't see this disrespect, the respect the manager gets, and you show that by the body language on the football pitch. That's where a Premier League manager needs to work most of it. As I told you already a few weeks ago, everybody was talking about the tactic master. What tactic master? I have not seen no project in terms of that. I don't see any kind of tactics there. That's the wrong part at Spurs. With these young players, you need inspiration. They're already there at the Premier League. They're already technically well. That is the mindset. How they have to be on the football pitch. And that's what Thomas lacked from my point of view, because I don't see that week in, week out. And that's to win, you need that mentality.
Ramon, tell me, mate. Now, I was talking to Robbie on Thursday night in Budapest, and he is doing a fantastic job. There's no doubt about it. And I think it's only a matter of time before he's back home with a big job, right? I really do. I think he's doing terrific. However, my question to you, Ramon, would be this. What's Robbie Keane going to have to do? We'll just say, for example, he's a Spurs manager. What's he going to have to do, or what is he capable of doing differently that Mourinho, Conte, Poch couldn't do?
Well, listen, I want to say that he's going to be the super kind of solution, we call it, of course. But the one thing he would definitely bring into it, he was
Ramon, we're losing the line, mate. So, look, thank you very much, Ramon. Have a great Christmas. I don't think there's much chance of snow where you are, just looking at those pictures. But really appreciate your time.
But you see my point?
Yeah.
My point is this.
Exactly.
Right. Robbie Keane, who... great lad and doing a brilliant
deserves
job.
an opportunity.
100% deserves an opportunity. I had a wee chat with him very briefly on Thursday, but I'm not sure what he's capable of at Tottenham with that squad of players that's going to alter things dramatically. That's my point.
No, I agree. It's caused a lot of reaction on the text. Abby, who's a Manchester United fan, says Thomas Frank is out of his depth with Spurs. Too big a challenge. He'll get the push by Christmas. Cue Brendan Rodgers arriving at the scene, which is not the daftest of suggestions. Fraser says, morning boys, I'm a season ticket holder at Forest. To me yesterday it looked a lot like the Spurs players are down tools and weren't playing for Frank at all. And Jason, who's a Donny Rovers fan, says you're going on as if Spurs should have been entitled to win away. They're not a big club, mediocre at best. They got what they came for, a free scarf and a standard Forest beating up the trees. Frank needs time at Spurs, at least 2 transfer windows. The team he inherited is very poor, full of average players, which is pretty much what you were hinting at.
That's what I think. That's what I genuinely think.
Were we overrating these Spurs players? Because we look through that team and we say, got good wing backs, good defenders, good central defenders. We've got great midfield. Something's not right.
Very limited up front at the moment. This moment in time, very limited up front. I think that's a big thing. Yeah. You know, I also think we've got to say, and I only saw extended highlights, but I spoke to a couple of the Forest lads. They were terrific yesterday, as good as a performance that they've put in a long time, Forest. So you've got to take that into account. But you look at the goals they lost straight away. I mean, they're cutting their own throat with the first goal. We mentioned it, you and I, discussing it with the goalkeeper and Archie Gray, you know. And when you're doing things like that, you know, and things are up against you at the best of times, but then we'll look back. I mean, has this, the way Tottenham are just now, Jeff, right, with Thomas Frank, I'd be interested to know from Tottenham fans, does it alter their opinion at all on Ange, on winning that Europa League, on a really poor season in the league, really poor?
Yeah.
But does it alter their opinion winning a European League trophy?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, interesting. And I'm sure it does. I'm sure they view it in a very different way. But, you know, they cannot keep changing managers. For me, Thomas Frank, they've just got to stick with him. They've just got to stick with him for the time being. And I mean, for goodness sake, you know, at least let him have the January transfer window and say where we go 100%. After that.